Hi, my name's Juskow and welcome to the English Puzzle Project. You might wonder why I call this a puzzle project, but if you're a language learner, I'm sure you can sympathize and understand that learning a language is really like a puzzle. You're trying to find all of the pieces and how it can be put together and what the meanings of them are. Well, that's my objective. I want to answer some of these questions for you, and I want to clarify a lot of questions that you might have. This is an introduction into the present perfect, and in this video I want to present three things to you. I want to present, generally speaking, how a present perfect sentence is built. That's pretty simple. I want to talk about what you think present perfect means in comparison to a simple past, and we'll take a look at that. And finally, I want to introduce to you the concept, or a new concept, of present perfect. It's a little bit more elaborate, but it's not a complicated thing, and this will answer your questions. First, let's take a look at the sentence structure of a present perfect tense, just so that we're all clear about this. Making a sentence in the present perfect is following the basic rules of sentence structure: subject, auxiliary, verb, and complement. Now, with the subjects I, you, we, they, the books, people, we use the auxiliary have. In this case, I have gone to Paris. Please don't forget that with the third person singular, he or she or it or the table, use has. She has gone to Paris, for example. Okay? Well, that wasn't so bad. It's pretty simple how to build a sentence using the present perfect. Now the meaning. What's the difference of the meaning? Is it the same thing or is it different? What do you think? Do you have any idea of a difference of the meaning? When I start an introduction of present perfect with my students at the university, I always ask them this, and I write down two sentences on the board. I'll write a simple past sentence, for example, I went to Paris. And I'll use a present perfect, I have gone to Paris. And I ask the students to brainstorm and tell me what they think the difference is between these two tenses. Now, it's important to understand that my students generally, just like you probably, have seen present perfect before and have studied this before. And it will be interesting to see the disparate conclusions that students have. Let's listen. Okay, so let's discuss. What do you think the difference is for I went to Paris and I have gone to Paris? These two sentences. Yeah.
First one is I went to Paris, but now I'm not there. Mm-hmm. And second one is I have gone to Paris. I visited to Paris in my whole life. Okay. And I don't know now. I don't know where I'm.
You don't say when you was in Paris.
For what?
When you were in Paris.
For what?
Because, for example, I went to Paris 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I have gone to Paris. You are not saying when you were in Paris.
Okay.
And you maybe can be in Paris.
Maybe I'm in Paris?
Why not?
Well, I don't know. What do you think?
Sometimes when I said I went to Paris, I need time to say when I went there. But when I said I have gone to Paris, I didn't need to say the time.
Lou?
I totally agree with this. The first one is I went to Paris before, but now I'm in my country. Anyway, I'm not in Paris anymore. But okay. The second one, I have gone to Paris. It means the second means I'm still in Paris.
Okay. No.
The second one, you're not sure in the future.
You're not sure in the future. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. I mean, some students, they are in Paris, and some students are not in Paris. Some students, they don't know when they were in Paris. My goodness, you don't know when you were in Paris. One student even thought, well, maybe there's something about the future of Paris. You know, in past courses, some students have commented and they've said, well, that was a long time ago that I was in Paris. And other students say, gee, no, that wasn't so long ago that I was in Paris. But it's very interesting. Students are always saying the same thing. They're talking about two things, actually. They're talking about the action, whether they are in Paris or they are not in Paris. And they're talking about the time. Maybe the time was a long time ago, maybe it wasn't so long ago sometimes, though that wasn't in this clip. They don't know when the action is. Well, so the time is a concern. And these two variables are really very important things. And what you must consider when you're thinking about present perfect and simple past tense is exactly that, the action. Is the action still there, or is it finished? The time. Is the time still now, or is it finished? Same thing for the present perfect. Let's take a look at a very basic grid now, a 4x4 grid with action time variables and the present perfect and simple past.
So as you can see, we have a 4x4 grid with the action and the time and simple past and present perfect. I went to Paris, or I have gone to Paris. Now, what we have to decide is the action and the time. Is it finished or unfinished for the simple past? And is it finished or unfinished for the present perfect?
Great. Now we have a basic grid. And this is an important thing. With this grid, we're going to build. And what we're going to do is we're going to build new concepts of present perfect. There are going to be 4 basic categories. The first one, I'm going to call it a present perfect C, PPC. Second one, present perfect L, PPL. Present perfect M, PPM. A lot of PP here. Present perfect J, PPJ. The present perfect J is a little strange monster, but we don't have to worry about that one so much, because it's the first 3 that are really, really good. With these different present perfects, we're going to be able to look at and understand how we use it properly. And that's what you want to know.
So the present perfect is actually divided into 4 separate categories. That is the present perfect C, the present perfect L, the present perfect M, and the present perfect J. These are very, very important to understand and to be able to use properly. They're not difficult, but just a little bit of thinking is required.
So in this video, we've looked at, generally speaking, how to build a sentence using present perfect. We've discovered concepts of an action and a time using present perfect, though we haven't looked at it too much, but we know that they exist. We're able to make a grid now as a comparative between the 2 tenses. And finally, well, I've just told you that we have 4 categories of present perfect. The present perfect C, the present perfect L, M, and C. J. Sorry. Now, I know that these letters, C, L, M, and J, they don't mean anything to you at this point, and that's understandable. Well, clearly, you shouldn't understand, because if you do, wow, you're better than I am. In the next video, however, we're going to start to take a look at the present perfect, and we're going to look at it in terms of now present perfect C. It's a category, okay? And with that, we'll start our exploration and our understanding of present perfect tenses. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.